Usually I start these videos off with like a 8 to 10 minute review of what happened in the previous week's Eagles matchup, but you know what? I ain't in the mood to talk about that. I'd rather talk about other games that happened this week, because frankly, I can only repeat how much of my team is a National Football League embarrassment so many times. And frankly, if they're not giving the extra effort on the field, why should I give the extra effort as a fan to discuss their problems? One thing I do want to talk about coming out of after this loss is Malcolm Jenkins got interviewed, and he said the one thing that really bothers him, or one thing that's really a problem on this team right now, is that no one's actions, the players, no player on this team is held accountable for their actions. Not one single person. And I can't tell you how much I unanimously agree with that. Because there's so many players here that it's like, you look at it and you go, well, does it serve the team better to keep them here? Or would it serve the team better than to cut them? Like someone I'll take Miles Austin for example. This guy fucking sucks. He is more of a detriment to the team. He is in no way going to be a game breaker for the team at wide receiver. So why not send a message to the team and say, okay, he has no real value whether he's here or if we lose him. It's not like we lost a big piece. Why not send a message to the team and make something good out of Miles Austin playing bad and cut him? Let it serve notice to the team that shit play is not going to be tolerated. What do we get? Miles Austin gets to keep his job. Riley Cooper gets to keep his job. Any number of people get to keep their job. No one is held accountable for the level of piss poor play that you've seen here. And it's like, oh, maybe Chip Kelly's the kind of guy that doesn't want to cut guys. What is training camp but nothing but cutting guys left and right? This is something that is known and accepted. These are grown-ass men, and they can deal with it. And if they can't understand that they fucking suck and deserve to get cut, then they can go cry in the fucking corner. Anyways, fuck this team, man. This team is just a bunch of no tries and just... I was going to say something else about where they're about to be, but let's just go into our Week 12 preview, which brings us to the second game on Thanksgiving Thursday. Carolina, you're expecting me to praise you for what you did. I think the actions of the Carolina Panthers this past Thursday were heartless, were cruel, mean, any other synonym to that. I cannot approve of what happened, and frankly, I had no idea that the team was this fucking evil. Because I don't know if you've looked at your calendars, Carolina Panthers, and the Carolina Panthers fans that are going to cheer what just happened, but it is now the month of December. And do you know how cold it gets in the fucking basement in December? You left the Cowboys down in the basement, and it's December. They're going to die. They're going to die down there, and you let them stay there? Oh, Cowboys fans, if only you had Romo in you did have Romo in this game, and he threw 3 picks, completed half his passes. Shut your fucking I wish we had Romo excuse mouths up. Your team fucking sucks. You think my team has problems? Have fun with Romo and the 4 years left on his contract. You think Jerry Jones is going to go after a quarterback? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. You better hope Cleveland throws away Johnny Football. I still can't figure out why anyone in their right mind would want Johnny Football. Have him. By the way, have him. I'll condone you guys taking him. Oh, all you Cowboys fans, you just shut the fuck up real quick, because you realize, with or without Tony, that team just is not good. Just not good. You're going to find out again what it's like to play with a backup quarterback. And you're going to find out what it meant to bring Romo back into a worthless season to a 2-win team that was going nowhere. Now re-injuring the same shoulder bone, clavicle. Now he's going to be a frail piece of china glass. Good luck playing with him the next 4 years. Like I said, do you think Jerry Jones is going to seriously go after a quarterback over his boy Romo? Yeah, I didn't think you did. Have fun holding your breath every single time, because that tackle that broke his clavicle, that wasn't like Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks powerbombed his ass to the ground. That was just a light tackle falling to the turf. Broken clavicle again. Have fun with that for the next 4 years and that big $20+ million salary cap hit. Good job signing Dez too, and have fun with that guy Greg Hardy. Re-sign him while you're at it. You could fucking have him too. I don't even care. Oh, you Dallas fans, you just shut the fuck up real quick, because the truth is known. And thank you, Carolina, for showing us this. That this team, with or without Romo, is a piece of shit. As bad as my team is, you guys are worse. I hate to break it to you. You guys are worse. You think we have quarterback issues here, not knowing who our quarterback is going to be next year? Have fun playing with Chinaman for the next 4 years. Not that he's Chinese, that he's a piece of fragile like China, like glass. Anyways. 33-14, more than doubled your ass up. And Carolina even gave you a garbage time touchdown at the end there. Anyways, have fun with Matt Castle. We've been there, done that 4 or 5 times now. We'll see how that ends up for you. Moving along, a third game on Thanksgiving night. And I said this in my weekly review last week. Why is Green Bay all of a sudden, I think when the line first came out, Green Bay was a 8.5 or 9-point favorite against Chicago at Green Bay, and I was like, what the fuck are the odds making? Like, that is the first time this year that I looked at the spread and I said, that is fucking insane. There's times where I thought spreads were a point higher or lower than they should be, but I would have gave this a 3-point spread at the most for Green Bay. Chicago came in, held tempo of that game, held that team down, and you saw another mediocre performance from this Green Bay squad, only putting up 13 points, winning. Chicago won 17-13. And I was not surprised at this at all, especially the way that Chicago's playing. Everyone thinks Chicago's a joke because Jay Cutler's a joke and all this stuff. But you need to pay attention with how Chicago's been playing, specifically the last 4 weeks. They've been playing people tough. And Jay Cutler's been playing some really good football. And this Green Bay team hasn't. Aaron Rodgers' completion percentage is the shits right now. Is the absolute shits. I can't figure out what it is, because the first 6 games of the season, Aaron Rodgers had no problem doing his thing. He was every bit of an MVP in this league as he's ever been. But now, he just can't get guys to catch the ball. Guys aren't catching the ball. The ball's not getting there as crisp as it should be. Any number of things. The bottom line is you should not be surprised that Chicago won this game. You should not be surprised for 1 second. I sure as hell wasn't. And I told you guys that last week. Going into the Sunday games, Week 12. Minnesota, 20. Atlanta Falcons, 10. Rise down, rise down, rise down. Rise way down under the Carolina Panthers in the South. Atlanta, it's over. It's over. Your whole quitting thing, your whole hashtag rise up, throw it away. Throw it away. Nothing special to see here. Minnesota, and specifically Adrian Peterson. I hate to break it to you, but that suspension that was given to Adrian Peterson last year might have been the best thing that could have happened to Adrian Peterson, because he is playing, number one, with motivation to prove he's still got it, but number two, he's playing with fresh legs, fresh body, a whole year of rest and training, not getting beat up on the football field for a year. This guy is as big of a fucking bulldozer beast as he's ever been. And I would not want to face Minnesota in the playoffs right now, because they're creeping up on Arizona as one of the other teams to beat that aren't named Carolina right now in the NFC anyway. Yeah, I really like this Minnesota team. They slipped up, lost last week, 2 weeks ago to Green Bay, which was a game I really thought they were going to stake their claim in the NFC North, but whatever. Any given Sundays always happen. And here we go. We got St. Louis at Cincinnati. Let me see. What time was this game? 1 o'clock? Oh, that explains why Cincinnati won 31-7. Like, I don't even care. I don't even care that Cincinnati bounces back with a big, dominant offensive performance. I don't care how good Dalton looked in this game. I don't care about anything that Cincinnati does in these put us in a corner, don't pay attention to us games. We're going to play over here at 1 o'clock. Shh, no, look, Minnesota's playing. Watch them beat up Atlanta. Watch them over there. We're going to play over here. All right, no one's watching. Yeah, 31 points. Yeah, we won by 22 points. Did I do the math correct? No, I didn't. Anyway, I suck at math. Anyways, again, I'm sorry, Cincinnati and your fans. I can't get excited for this team. I just can't. Win something when people are actually watching that aren't having their TVs on at 1 and 4 o'clock, and then I'll be impressed. New Orleans at Houston. Man, I thought Houston packed it in by about week 4 or 5. I thought they were just going through the motions. I thought J.J. Watt was just like, I don't want to play for these fucking losers. They're flip-flopping their quarterbacks, and then they don't know who their starting quarterback is till like week 6, and they fire one quarterback who's late on a plane to fly to England for a game against Miami, and it was just such a fucking mess. But now this team has got stability. They know who they are every week. J.J. Watt is back to being a defensive line beast. My God, this team is getting some attention. I wouldn't say they're a team to beat or anything like that, but they're getting some attention. And I'm always rooting for J.J. Watt. Always rooting. I love the way he plays. I love a big menacing defensive lineman like that. And it just stinks seeing him on a team that always never goes anywhere. Like I said that's a guy that's gonna end up being traded to the Cowboys and get a ring there, and I'll just jump off a fucking bridge. But anyways, let's not get ridiculous. Anyways, Houston 24, New Orleans 6. Boy, that's. On the plus side, it's amazing that New Orleans only gave up 24 points. That's a silver lining for you there, New Orleans. Tampa Bay at Indianapolis, a game that Tampa could have, should have won, but didn't. Winston got humbled a little bit. You won a couple games in a row. Lovie Smith won a couple games in a row, finally in Tampa. And not that Lovie Smith's been there for long, but it's his first winning streak in Tampa. Matt Hasselbeck is 600 years old, and Tampa was playing good football coming into this game. You can't lose this game. You can't. Especially if you're trying to creep up and sneak into a wild card spot. Anyways, this is what young teams do. This is a young Tampa Bay team that has a lot of learning left to do in this league. And even an old-aged dinosaur veteran like Matt Hasselbeck can still carve a young team up like this. Anyways, it just is something to be humbled with Tampa. I wouldn't necessarily take that as too much of a negative. Yeah, it sucks. It really shook your chances of getting a wild card spot. But like I said, you're a really young team. Who gives a shit game of the week? San Diego managed to pull out a win and fuck up their draft pick, even though they're still, I think, picking second or third if the season ended today. 31-25 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. With Indy and Houston winning, Jacksonville and for sure the Titans. They are the Titans. The fuck. I think Tennessee wasn't called the Titans. Anyways, Titans and Jacksonville, your teasing of winning the AFC South is done. Let the big boys, the Texans and the Colts, fight out for that spot. 31-25, San Diego over Jacksonville. I told you guys, and to you Kansas City fans, I picked on you. When you guys were 1-5, and I said, have fun with Andy Reid there. This team has found its identity. Jeremy Maclin, who... Where'd Kansas City pick him up from? Jeremy Maclin is as big of a beast as I've ever seen him play. Too bad most of those times were in a uniform in midnight green. But I told you guys at the start of the season, this is why I thought Kansas City was a playoff team coming into this year, is that this is a very good Andy Reid type team. And I was always watching the Chiefs. I never really said, like, the first 2 years that Andy Reid was there, I was like, I don't see the Andy Reid type team there. And I see it now. Because you have a defense that's very similar to the Jimmy Johnson type defenses that you saw here in Philadelphia, 8 to 10 years ago. And you see Maclin there, the type of catch it anywhere on the field, deep threat, slot threat, just the total package he is as a wide receiver. He's not going to win jump balls in the red zone, so he's lacking in that game. But still, it's just like you see a game manager at quarterback that's beginning to look a lot more than a game manager right now. But this team really looks like they figured this shit out. They know how to work with every piece they got, and there shouldn't be anyone that is looking forward to playing Kansas City right now. And Buffalo found that out the hard way. Huge win, especially in the wild card race, and especially in that West race. But something else happened later on, and we'll get to that in a second here. That big, huge game for the AFC playoff picture, and I think Kansas City just staked their claim of at least making sure they get a wild card spot for two main reasons. One team that lost that we'll be getting to in a second, besides Buffalo. Buffalo losing was a big thing for them. Miami at the Jets. The Jets are still saying, hey, we're going to hang around till the final week before we end up losing on a tie break to the playoffs. So Jets fans, I'm just saying, like, this, don't get your hopes up. I've seen this happen so many times before with your team. There's too many other teams that are playing a little bit better than you, and they're going to edge you out. And I can't believe in this team. I can't believe in this team. You're a good team. You need that quarterback. You need a good, dependable quarterback. Oakland beating the Tennessee Titans. Oh, Jets won 38-20. Miami, yippity-doo. Oakland beat the Tennessee Titans 24-21. Big back and forth game. I was watching this on Red Zone. Just a big back and forth, exciting game. Way more of an exciting game than I gave it credit for when I first saw it on the matchup. I figured Oakland was just going to cream the shit out of Tennessee. The final quarter of this game just had everything. It was just an entertaining, fun game to watch, and that's pretty much what I take from it. And good on Oakland winning another game. That's another team that's a young squad, especially with the offense right now. Carr is looking like the real deal. I didn't think he was much of anything the past few seasons, but Derek Carr looks like he's the real deal. The New York Giants, Washington Redskins. The game that I said whoever wins this game is winning the NFC East. Because if the Giants win, they get to be 2 games ahead of the Eagles, 3 games ahead of the Cowboys. Fuck, who cares about the Cowboys? And 2 games ahead of the Redskins if the Giants won this game. If Washington wins, now they would only be tied at the top. They got the edge based on a tie break for beating the Giants here. But Washington still has to play a Romo-less Dallas Cowboys team not once, but twice. Congratulations to the Washington Redskins for winning the NFC East, a team that I started saying by week 5, no one is giving this team credit, but they are playing the best consistent football in the NFC East. Not that that means anything. They're going to get their dicks kicked in against whoever they face in the playoffs, much like anyone else in the NFC East who may or may not come out of this division. But no one gave the Redskins any credit this year. I did. Starting from week 5, my videos still stand up. I said, you know what? This team is playing the best consistent football right now. Yeah, they got their asses kicked against a team like the Patriots, but then again, well, so did everyone else except this week. But we'll get to that in a second. Well, the Giants battled the Patriots pretty well. But anyways, this Redskins team that everyone is ignoring, just sit there and watch them. Watch them go right into the playoffs. And us, the Eagles fan, how does it feel to see Macklin probably going to the playoffs, Deshaun Jackson probably going to the playoffs, even Shady McCoy? Buffalo still has a very good shot of getting in as a wild card. You see all these players that Chip Kelly just said, meh. We don't need them here. We need culture on our team. That's good. We brought in a culture already. We brought in a culture of losing. I'm getting back on the Eagles again. Anyways, Washington wins 20-14. Deshaun Jackson had a big touchdown that I was like squinting at the screen. I was like, who the fuck is that covering him? It's like some guy I never heard of. This Giants secondary is filled with like 4th and 5th stringers. I'm like looking at these names. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Is that what? Is that a fan that wanted a job for a day in the NFL and they just gave him a Giants jersey? I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? Anyways, Giants are a mess, and you can't expect that team to go anywhere. At least the Redskins have, solid starters in this league. They have probably the most collective group of rightful players that deserve to be starters in this league compared to anyone else in the NFC East. But again, it's not saying much to win the NFC East this year, so you get some praise, Redskins, but it's kind of like praise with an asterisk. It's really nothing special this year to win the NFC East at all. Arizona in a game that I was like, what is going on here? Why is Blaine Gabbert competing in this game? My God, I thought Arizona was going to win this game by at least 3 touchdowns. 19-13, that's it. Oh, win is a win, and you deserve the right to have an off week and not get too criticized. Just, pick it up, whoop ass next week, and everything will be fine. Anyways, Arizona, just a little stutter step, but the bottom line is they pulled out a win. Next, the game that I told you last week was going to be the game of the week, the game that I was looking forward to, and it was all of that and then some. Granted, both defenses played like shit, specifically in the second half, and you'd like to feel that you're going to see a big defensive stop or two, but you didn't see that. Anyways, Pittsburgh and Seattle. What a fucking classic of a game. As they talked about on Mike and Mike the next morning, this Seattle defense is no longer elite. And that much is proven. There's just been too many quarterbacks that have passed out, including Ben Roethlisberger, who just passed all the fuck over this team, just throwing left and right. And like I said, at the end of that game, neither defense could make a big stop. Neither could. 39-30. Pittsburgh giving up that many points is kind of concerning, and they played conservative. I guess at the time I would have kicked. You had a 4th and goal from the 3, and Pittsburgh opts to kick a field goal to take it was like a 1 or 2 point lead at the time, and that ounce of conservatism may have been what cost them the game. I know they end up winning by 9 points, but the way the end of the game doesn't pan out the way it exactly would have. But anyways, 39-30, Pittsburgh loses in a huge loss, and this was the other game I was talking about that had a huge impact on the Kansas City Chiefs and their playoff chances, as well as the Buffalo Bills, having Pittsburgh being the front runner in that, because Cincinnati's probably going to go ahead and win the North. Anyway, just a great game. Just a great game as a fan of football. New England at Denver. The mighty Patriots lose 30-24 And frankly, it was just a matter of time. I had the Patriots win in this game, and I told you I was going to pick the Patriots to win until they proved they could lose. Because there's just, and I don't mean to give the Patriots excuses for losing because they've been winning in spite of their excuses. But when you have this many starters get injured, and I know the two key principals are still there in Belichick and Brady, and frankly, I don't care who's injured, you still will get into the playoffs just on those two alone. You're going to catch a loss from a good team like this, and Denver is a really good team. And by the way, they're back to a Super Bowl contender, but they won't be if they have Tom Brady's bitch start playing again. But you know what? I'm done ranting about that. You guys can find that out the hard way in Denver if that's how you want to roll. Brock Osweiler, coming in, green as grass to competition like this and playing a world champion caliber opponent, did an excellent job in this game. I wish he would have a better time finding Demaryius Thomas and getting the ball to him because Brock just looks like he just couldn't find him. He couldn't find him, couldn't throw good balls to him, and that's arguably your best receiver on Denver. You got to utilize him in big games like this. And it's not like New England was really shutting him down or zoning their defense to shut him down, at least from what I saw. But anyways, you're going to catch a loss like this, New England, and you shouldn't be surprised. And there's not really much to worry about, per se. If Gronk got injured for the remainder of the season, there would be. It looks like he's only missing a week. Oh, thank God it's against the Eagles. But anyways, again, this is a game where I feel for Denver because I know they're just going to fuck this up and bring Tom Brady's bitch back into this. Because I'm seeing this, I'm like, you beat arguably the best team in the league, the greatest football mind coach and Tom Brady. What else does Brock Osweiler have to do to confirm that he is good enough to lead this team and have the defense pick up any slack that Brock and that offense can't accomplish? I mean, this is a Super Bowl team, and that's what frustrates me so much more with Tom Brady's bitch playing on this team, because he's so fucking done. And you will not go anywhere. And I hate seeing a team getting a Super Bowl chance ripped away from them because their coach, their owner, their whatever, their team says, no, Tom Brady's bitch is going to find his way and be superior again. No, he's not. Anyways, tough loss, New England, especially going into the lead with the fourth quarter and losing it, and then losing it in overtime, giving up the big run to end the game. God damn, what a pisser. But not as much of a pisser as this. Baltimore at Cleveland. That was hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, and I tweeted this out after it happened, that was the single most pathetic fucking loss that I have ever seen in an NFL game. One, the Cleveland Browns are at home, playing in front of a hometown crowd. Two, it's Monday Night Football. One of the few primetime games that you're going to see a consistently bad team get. They all of a sudden get a primetime game, national television, against a big rival in the Ravens. Yeah, the Ravens are a half-assed football team, which I'll get to that in a second. But you got a primetime spotlight. Any football fan that wants to see football is watching you guys play. 3, the Ravens are playing with Schaub at quarterback. They're playing with a busted-up team that can't figure out a way to win and blow leads in goddamn every game. And I'm looking at Schaub's completion percentage here. All right, 20 for 34. I'm just curious. I didn't see what his percentages were. This Ravens team sucks. They figured out a way to lose in damn near every fourth quarter, including an overtime loss this season, already to Cleveland. And number 4, once the Brownies, always the Brownies. Kicking a field goal to win the game with time expiring, only to have the kick blocked and returned for a touchdown with no time left. Someone tweeted back to me after I said that was the most pathetic loss I've ever seen in NFL history. Someone tweeted back to me, and I agreed. They said, boy, as bad as your Eagles are playing, you've got to be glad that you're not a fan of the Cleveland Browns. And you goddamn right. I would jump off a fucking bridge. As much as this is one of those instances where I'd say if this happened to the Eagles, I'd be like, you know what? I'd rather it was like a 45-14 route, like what you did just see from the Eagles. I'd rather see a game like that. I'd rather have what the Lions did to us, and I say this with straight truth, than lose a game 33-27 with time expiring off a blocked field goal, a blocked game-winning field goal attempt, return sixth. I'd rather lose the way I just did with my Eagles against the Lions than what happened in Cleveland. To see that happen at home, to see all the contention there with Johnny Manziel and all that shit, and know that my team is getting laughed at as it is, to see us lose so embarrassingly to a team that has been playing like complete shit, that doesn't even have their starting quarterback. Unfucking believable. At least you got LeBron in Cleveland. That's the only thing I can say right now. Because right now, in Philadelphia, our biggest sports hope right now is Jahlil Okafor, who just got a gun pulled on him back in November in Old City in an altercation. Got in a fist fight with a fan in Boston that was heckling him during the game and followed him to a bar and heckled him at the bar, and then he beat his ass. And then 3, just this past Sunday or Saturday, he was caught doing 108 miles per hour on the Ben Franklin Bridge. How the fuck do you even... Has anyone ever been on the Ben Franklin Bridge? How the fuck do you get to 108 on the Ben Franklin Bridge? And how dumb are you to fucking do that? Anyways, Cleveland, at least you have LeBron. We got a dead-last Philadelphia Phillies team, a dead-last Sixers team, a Flyers team that miraculously just won a couple games, one of which was against the Carolina Hurricanes, which who gives a shit. And an Eagles team that is about to be spooning with the Dallas Cowboys in the basement. At least you got LeBron, Cleveland. But I'll tell you what, I would jump off a fucking bridge if I saw my fucking Eagles lose like this. Holy shit. Let's go into our Week 13 predictions and let's blast through these. Thursday Night Football, Green Bay at Detroit. Oh, what's the matter? Green Bay's only a 3-point favorite right now? Why is that? What? Detroit is a way worse team than Chicago. Why is Green Bay only favored by 3 points this week? That's a bullshit line. Green Bay should be favored by 9 points, man. Detroit is way worse than Chicago. Like, what the fuck is this shit? I know you're going to say, well, it's in Detroit versus Green Bay, but still. How can you be favored against 9 points against the Bears, and the next week against Detroit you're only favored by 3? The fuck out of here, Vegas odds makers. I got Detroit winning this game because, frankly, I don't like the Packers right now. I don't like the Packers. I don't like the Packers regardless. I hate every team except mine. Sunday, there's a game at 4 o'clock. Philadelphia at New England Patriots. We'll go over that because we'll go over that later. Houston at Buffalo. Whoa! Who wants a playoff spot? Who wants a playoff spot? The team that wins this game does. That's who. Huge matchup for both teams. Huge. Okay, let's just give a prediction, Archfiend. I got Houston winning on the road. Bold pick, Archfiend. Bold pick indeed. San Francisco at Chicago. Chicago's only favored by 6.5 points at home. I think Chicago's going to win this game. But Blaine Gabbert looked really good, I thought. Well, good enough for a green as grass rookie against Arizona. Really good defense. But I got Chicago winning this game. Cincinnati at Cleveland. What time is this game? Oh, 1 o'clock. Cincinnati will win this game by like 50 points. And no one will give a shit. Baltimore at Miami. Who wants to fuck up their draft pick even more? The winner of this game does, which will be the Miami Dolphins. Seattle at Minnesota. I'm sorry, I'm getting the shakes for how exciting this game is going to be. Oh my God, Seattle on the road in Minnesota. Can they shut down AP? No. That Seattle defense just isn't good. I think Teddy Bridgewater's going to throw all over them. I got Minnesota winning at home. It's going to be an exciting game, but it's mostly going to be an exciting game because Seattle's going to get carved up. I'm sorry, Minnesota's going to win and win big. The New York Jets at the New York Giants. Sorry, Giants. Jets are winning. Arizona at St. Louis. St. Louis is just playing some bad fun. St. Louis just can't score right now. Todd Gurley just is, he's getting shut down a bit. He's just not finding the end zone anymore. Fuck, man. They just not looking good. Just not looking good. Look for Arizona to win. Like I said, I accept that you stuttered against the 49ers, Arizona. You know, it's any given Sunday, and even elite teams look soft against the weaker teams in the league, but I think you're going to bounce back just fine this week, Arizona. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Rise down and rise up, Bucks. Tampa Bay wins. Oh boy, in the battle for who wants to finish in last place in the AFC South this year, the Jacksonville Jaguars face the Tennessee Titans in a game that I could care less about. Let's have Tennessee win. Let's have Tennessee win. So there's a neck and neck race going into the final weeks for who's going to finish in dead last in the AFC South between Jacksonville and Tennessee. Kansas City at Oakland. Oakland? Do you want to try to make the playoffs? If you win this game, you'll get a lot of people's attention because you're running into the biggest buzzsaw in the league right now. But you're not going to win. Kansas City's going to win this game on the road. Denver at San Diego. Brock's going to do his thing. The defense is going to do its thing. No problem. Denver wins. Carolina at New Orleans. I just do not know why, and there's no logical reason why I should have a bad feeling about this game, but I do. I just do. As the division matchup, Breeze, and I always have it in my mind that there's going to be at least that one game that Cam Newton just mentally snaps and does something to cost his team the game or doesn't play well enough to win a game for his team or put up enough points or make as little mistakes that doesn't cost his team the game. I know you usually don't call a division game a trap game, but God, New Orleans is coming off a very weak performance, and I know there's no logical sense. I don't know why I don't have a good... I'm just saying what I feel in my gut and mind. I don't feel good about this matchup, about this game. I'm picking Carolina to win, but I just something isn't right about this game. Something isn't right. The Archfiend crystal ball is telling me something isn't right. I don't know what it is. Find out Sunday at 4:25. Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's going to bounce back just fine from that loss in Seattle. And they're going to whoop that Indianapolis Colts ass. And ending the week, Week 13 action. Dallas at Washington. Oh, whoa. Washington, come here. let me give you a talk like I did to Carolina last week. Washington, Dallas fans and their team have been suffering. Could you do them all a favor? Because right now they're clinging to, we're only 2 games out of first place. You know, what if Matt Castle starts playing well in the defense? I'm sorry, is anyone saying that? I don't think they are. But anyways, my Eagles couldn't win. Giants couldn't win last week thanks to you guys beating them. But could you end the ridiculousness that is this season of the Dallas Cowboys? And could you make sure during the very, very cold month of December that they don't come the fuck upstairs? Can you just make sure that they stay in the fucking basement? Let them talk about their 5 fucking rings covered in 600 layers of dust from the 600 years it's been since they won their last one. Let them talk about all that. Go ahead and actually put this team out of its misery. End their season. And go back into Dallas, play them again in front of your fans. Think about that, Washington. Think about that. That second game against Dallas will be in Dallas. You think Cowboys fans are going to show up to Jerry World for that? It's going to be a sea of maroon. It's going to look beautiful. Think about that. Think about how great that's going to be playing in the final weeks of the season. Going down to Maroon Land. Not Jerry World, Maroon Land. Think about that. Or is it Burgundy? What the fuck ever. End the suffering. This has been a public message from the Archfiend. Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. Have a good day, everyone. Just win, because I don't want to be in the basement with them. Please, Redskins, I just don't want to be in the basement with them. If there's one thing I can take from the season, please, I don't want to be in the basement with the Cowboys. There's just one thing, just please. We'll let you win. We'll let you win Week 16, Redskins. We'll let you win. We're going to let you win no matter what, please. Just, I don't want to be in the basement with the Cowboys. Please. Thank you, Washington. Have a good day, everyone.